Hey everybody, welcome to the first episode of the Blizzard Sports Podcast. I'm happy to say that we're finally able to have former NDSU Bison, current NFL draft prospect, and everybody's favorite part-time Napoleon Dynamite impersonator, Cody Mauch, online to talk with us. Hey Cody, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you today?
I'm doing really well. So I know you've got a pretty busy schedule leading up to the draft. I thought we'd just hop into some questions and get rolling right away. How does that sound?
Let's do it.
Perfect. So first question on my list was why NDSU? Was that like a family decision, just the small size, local?
The main thing was it was the school that I grew up watching. I'm from Hankinson, so it's 45 minutes away. So I had grown up watching them all the time. And also just the success that they've had, it's tough to, pass that up.
Absolutely. And then, so you finally get to school, you're playing, and then there's that decision to play O-line instead of tight end. What sparks that? Was that a coach's suggestion? Was it just your sheer size? You knew you could do it?
It was the fact that I had put on so much weight. That was the goal, was to put on some weight, be a heavier tight end. But I just kept putting on the weight, and the coach finally said, "Hey, probably going to move you into the offensive line." And I'm like, well, I can't be mad about it because that's what's going to happen. So I was on board with it.
Right. And then what does that process look like? You said you put on a ton of weight going from 220 to 300. What does that look like? How do you do that?
The thing is gain 1 to 2 pounds a week. That's what it is. You don't want to put on too much weight. Then it's not going to be the right kind of weight. So 1 to 2 pounds a week. I was at the dining center probably 5 times a day, just getting all sorts of meals in, whether it's just a snack, a bowl of cereal at night, but I was just eating all the time. That's really what it was.
Which dining center is your favorite here? Are you a Res or West guy?
Definitely the res. Yep.
Absolutely. Okay, and then what does an off day look like for Cody Mauch? What are you doing when you don't have a practice or you're not prepping?
So usually I'm probably honestly just hanging out in my living room. We have in my house we have 4 mounted TVs. So if it's like NFL Sunday, each one of those has a game on. We'll bring up another TV. Or we'll be watching with 5 screens. Um, Probably just hanging out. I got a 3-year-old dog. Might be doing something with him as well.
Absolutely. And then we've got a couple of questions from former Georgia quarterback Aaron Murray. How's the offseason been for you?
It's been good. It's been a change from what I'm used to. Just the type of training I was doing for the combine, a little bit different than football training, and working with different O-line guys, I guess, has been a good change. But yeah, I was out in California. That was a good experience for a couple months, especially while it was cold up here in Fargo. It was pretty nice out in California, and but it's been a fun off season. But I'm excited to get going again.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think everyone's taking California weather over Fargo, North Dakota.
For sure.
And then the second question from Aaron, what are the specifics you've been working on post NDSU?
The biggest thing I'm working on is getting more comfortable playing inside at guard or center, just because I had played tackle my entire career at NDSU. I might project a little bit more to be inside for a lot of teams on the interior line. So I'm just working on being more consistent with my reps in there. That's a big focal point for me.
All right. And then we know you've got ridiculous determination. You put on all that weight. You worked so hard to get where you are. What's an attribute the fans and media don't typically see from you?
I would say it's tough to see, but just like how hardworking I'd say I am, and just in terms of takes a lot of preparation to be a Division I football player, just the amount of film you have to watch and all that. So while I definitely am having fun out there. It might look like I'm just having fun playing ball. A lot goes into it. A lot goes into it for our entire team. A lot of film from our coaches and us as well. It's just a lot that goes into it behind the scenes that I'm sure people don't realize it's as hectic as they would think.
Yeah, and then going off of that, I know there's a famous Richard Sherman clip where he's talking about just everything that's required of a D1 football player. Could you walk us through a typical day, through practices, through
Yeah.
team meetings?
Yeah, so a pretty typical one. Let's say it's a random day during the season. You'll wake up, you'll go get some breakfast. We might have some special teams meetings at 7 a.m. So you have to go to those if you're on that special team. So yeah, right after that special teams, you go get some breakfast. Then you'll come home and maybe you'll go to class, whatever your class schedule is for the day. But for me, I had a lot of online classes at the last year, so I would do some of my homework, right after those special teams meetings. Um, then you're watching a little bit of film in the morning. That's what I would do anyways. Watch a little bit in the morning, and then it gets to be about noon, and then you're going to the dining center to eat, and then we'd head to the dome at about 12:30, get a little bit of treatment, maybe sit in the hot tub, cold tub, do some contrasting, or any kind of rehab stuff that I would have going on. I would get a little bit of that done, and if there wasn't anything, then at that point I'm running right upstairs to go watch some film. But usually would get up about 1:15 to start watching film, and then it's film from then until our team or unit position meeting at 3:20. Then we have meetings with our position group. Then we go out. We have a walkthrough. Then we have practice, and then we're going back up. Just a couple of us, just because we wanted to. We would go watch film after practice in the coach's office, and you're done with that about 8:30.
Yeah, that's where that extra hard work comes in. Holy cow. Um, and then which teams are you meeting with through this draft process right now? And then which of the handful have you had the best connections with?
So I've met with every single team, probably a lot of the teams like multiple times, just because with the combine, with the Senior Bowl, with these little visits that and Zoom calls that are lined up for post combine. I've met with every team at least once. Um, I don't really know who I have the best connect. It's so hard to tell because they're putting their best foot forward. I'm putting mine forward. It just seems like you always mesh so well with them. Um, it's so hard to get a good feel and especially if a team wants me because that's what's weird about offensive line is a team always needs offensive linemen. So a team is always in the market for you. It's a little bit different than maybe a team doesn't need a running back. Well, you always need offensive linemen. So yeah, it's tough to say who's showed the most interest.
For sure. Yeah, that's one of those things you're always going to need it. It's always a great idea. Protect that guy back there.
Right.
And then what are the biggest adjustments going to be to the pros coming from FCS school like NDSU? And then just that jump into the play with big dogs?
Probably. Well, a couple things that will be an adjustment is, this is a good adjustment, but you don't have school anymore, and now it's your job to play football. You don't have to go to class and any of that. So that's going to be nice. But then on the flip side, I think just every single person who is now at the level that you're playing at is a fantastic. They were all Americans, they were all the best of the best. So there's never going to be a playoff. You're going to have to go out and practice in games, especially, but even in a walkthrough, guys are going to be just naturally more talented than anything you've really been used to. So probably just getting a little bit used to that jump.
Absolutely. Is there a specific player that you're modeling your game after, taking inspiration from, or is it a handful of guys?
There's a handful of guys, but the biggest guy for me is Joe Staley, tackle for the 49ers, retired a couple years ago. I trained with him throughout my pre-draft process, which was pretty sweet because he was a guy I always model myself after. And then to actually go and get some work from him was pretty cool. But yeah, I model myself after him. Just same trajectory. Skinny guy turned offensive lineman, athletic, moves well in space, a little bit on the lighter side, but plays fast.
No, that's fantastic. That has to be so cool for you to be able to train with Joe. And then your NFL.com comp is Alex Kappa of the Bengals right now. Do you think that's just because of your hair?
That's probably what they're seeing. They're just the hair, I'm sure. Yeah.
And then when you get drafted next week, what kind of player is your future team getting?
I'd say they're getting a guy who, just loves to play football. I love to play football. I'm gonna do whatever I have to do to win a rep, to win a series, and then to win a game. Like I'm just gonna get the job done. A really competitive guy, hardworking, knowledgeable, but just a guy who really just cares for people as well. So getting get a good teammate is one of the biggest things. A good guy in the locker room.
100%. I mean, when you get a 6'5", what are you, 6'5"?
Yep.
Yeah, 300-pound guy with talent, and he's a grinder. I don't think there's any way that you can flop you. It'd be a home run. Um, and then what's seeing your popularity explode like this? Like, did you? I mean, you have to expect it with the hair and Napoleon Dynamite dance and everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's for sure it's cool. It's fun to be recognized by people, just at random spots throughout town, or yeah, you're going to eat and people are just wishing you luck. It's really cool. It's been awesome. The fans of NDSU have been the best to me for the last 6 years, um, and gain a lot more fans along the way as well. Just from the different all-star games and whatnot I've been going to, but yeah, it's for sure a cool experience, and you got to really just kind of embrace it.
For sure. And along with the popularity and everything, I'm sure there's some struggles. Just it can be a little too big for you sometimes. Who's been your support system along the way? Is it family? Is it friends, teammates?
Oh, I'd say family and friends. Those are the main ones for me. I can lean on my family for about anything. My friends are always there to listen. My girlfriend's pretty good to talk to about things as well. Just kind of any of those people. I feel like I can talk to a lot of people about if I have anything going on.
For sure. Yeah, and I think that wraps up all the serious questions. I've just got one more for you. I was kind of curious myself. How do you eat corn on the cob?
It's tough. I kind of shove it in the side of my mouth a little bit, like eating it over here. It gets pretty messy, but I still do it because it's so freaking good.
Yeah. No, it's definitely not a food to ignore.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think we'll just keep this short and sweet. And I know you're busy, so um, we'll try to get you out of here in a timely manner. You're 100% welcome back whenever you want, whenever you get a free minute in about 5 years. But yeah, before you go, is there anything to plug or promote? If you want to shout out to a local restaurant that you were into?
Shoot, I guess I don't have anything too pressing to plug or promote. Really appreciate you reaching out. This was awesome. I'm excited for this. We'll definitely, if we can work it out, come back on, sometime in the future, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Just let us know and you'll be on. But if that's it, I'd like to say a huge thank you to everybody's favorite Bison, future NFLer next week. Um, yeah, see you later, Cody.
Yep. See you, Jack. Thanks so much.
Thanks.